An example of a really good answer to this question would be something like this. I would allocate 70% to stocks and 30% to bonds. Within the stock portfolio, I would allocate 3/4 to developed markets and 25% to emerging markets. And since we are in 2020 and probably in the early stages of a recession, I would overweight defensive stocks rather than cyclical stocks. If you want to know how I put together this answer, what is the reasoning behind it, keep watching this video till the end. We answered this question by dividing it in 3 steps. Step 1, specify the split between stocks and bonds. Step 2, identify which regions you want to invest in. Step 3, decide which sectors you want to allocate to. If you were asked how would you invest 1 million during an interview for a job in finance, then you should ask your interviewer who is this theoretical person you're investing for, because your answer will be different. Whether you're investing for a young person or for a grandma, for example. Your answer will always have to be something like X% in stocks and Y% in bonds. But if we're investing for a younger person, we can increase the allocation to stocks, and instead we should have a more balanced approach if we are investing for somebody who is closer to retirement. That's because stocks are riskier than bonds. Stocks typically give you 9% on average per annum, and bonds just give you 3%. But the risk of losing your initial capital, the risk of losing your money when you invest in stocks is way higher than bonds. So there's a trade-off, and we have to balance the allocation between the two. So let's assume that you are investing for a 20-something. A good split in that case would be 70% equities and 30% bonds. Now we have to pick the geographies, and we have to think about in terms of diversification. You wouldn't put all your eggs in one basket, so you shouldn't pick all your stocks in one region. A good split would be 75% to developed markets, which are more liquid, more established, and 25% to emerging markets. Emerging economies are the fastest growing, both in terms of population and in terms of capital, which can easily translate into better performance of the stocks because it's where you have the fastest growing companies. So it's something that you want to have exposure to. The last thing we have to specify is the sector exposure, and that will depend on where we are in the business cycle. There are 4 phases of the business cycle: the expansion, the peak, the contraction or recession, and the trough. We are now in October 2020, and all the macroeconomic data and signs are pointing towards the fact that we are in the early stages of a recession, that we are definitely past the peak. So if you're building a portfolio for your clients in 2020, you want to allocate more to defensive companies rather than cyclical companies. Defensive companies are those that focus on products that people buy whatever happens in the world, such as food, hygiene products, or healthcare stocks. Instead, you want to be away from those companies that aren't just going to deliver when we are in a recession. You want to avoid luxury goods, for example, or real estate companies or financials in general. This is how you should think in order to answer this question. If you think about it in this way, I'm sure that you're going to provide an answer that will make you stand out from the other applicants, and you're going to do well in your interview. If you thought that this video was useful, if you like this type of content, let me know, and I will upload more to the channel. For now, thank you very much for watching this video this far, and I'll see you soon.